has a big mouth, and it got him into a lot of trouble, but he hasn't seen the half of it yet. There is an audio tape, I am told, by people in the know, not necessarily in government, not necessarily out of government. I can't say too much, but there is incontrovertible evidence of Joe Biden's corruption that is about to be made public. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen before Labor Day, but it will happen sometime between Labor Day and Halloween. This tape will be made public. I'm not sure by what entity at this point, but once it is heard, Joe Biden will have, well, he'll have only two options. Number one, he will not be able to remain a candidate for the presidency for re-election. It will be over and done with. The only thing that he might be able to do, potentially, but probably not, is remain as president. I am told this tape is that incriminating, and they're worried about it right now at the White House. They know about it. They know it's out there. There may be more than one, and it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Described what the weather was, how what's going on your end. The witness was very, very consistent that none of those conversations ever had to do with any business dealings or transactions. They were purely what he called casual conversations.
All right, let's accept that. Let's accept that for a moment. That's according to Devon Archer and Hunter. And, well, the thing is, Joe Biden would make phone calls not only to Devon Archer and Hunter, right? He would make phone calls to other people. He would have meetings with other people. And Joe became a big shot all the way back in the 1970s. I don't think he realizes that now everybody in the world, everybody, has a tape recorder in their pocket. Back in the 70s when he became a big shot, that was like, oh boy, you had to go to Radio Shack and get tape, and you know, you had to be like this radio geek to figure that stuff out, or the FBI. Poroshenko, the then president of Ukraine, Joe was asking for something that Poroshenko thinks is out of line. Can you tell which side of the phone call this is recorded? Who's actually recording the call? Take a guess.
Yesterday, I meet with the General Prosecutor Shokin.
Yes.
And despite of the fact that we didn't have any corruption charges, we don't have any information about he doing something wrong, I especially asked him, no, it was the day before yesterday, I especially asked him to resign.
Great.
And this is my second step for keeping my promises.
I agree.
All right, you can tell Joe is on the phone, and that guy is actually in the room. Poroshenko is in the room where the tape recorder is. Poroshenko is taping it as evidence, as something to hold over Joe Biden, as proof. And there have to be more tapes. There just have to be. And I am told there is one, and it's going to blow the lid off the Biden administration and probably bring it down forever.
Sure.
And I went over, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Do you believe that Joe Biden or Hunter Biden got bribes?
I do not want to deal in unproven facts, but my firm personal conviction is that, yes, this was the case. They were being bribed. The fact that Joe Biden gave away $1 billion in U.S. money in exchange for my dismissal, my firing, isn't that alone a case of corruption?
paging Robin Ware, Robert L. Peters, and J.R.B. Ware. Those were then Vice President Biden's nom de guerres, according to the Southeastern Legal Foundation, who filed a FOIA request with NARA last year, and NARA confirming this to the foundation, writing this: "We have performed a search of our collection for vice presidential records related to your request and have identified approximately 5,138 email messages, 25 electronic files, and 200 pages of potentially responsive records that must be processed."